Welcome back, everyone. Dr. Bill Angel's with us from OSU. We're looking back on Election Day. It's a good time for you to be in the day after. Yeah. Let's talk about the mayor's race. Obviously, change after several decades. What did you think about the race itself?
I was ecstatic by it because when I first came to Lima, there was so much racial animosity. I just couldn't believe it.
Sure.
The busing
People
issue,
don't remember that. They weren't.
Yeah. And then a few years later, Pearl Williams got elected as a city council president. Remember, I was campaigning for him in '87, and I stopped at a house in the 8th Ward where I lived, and handed the guy, the resident, a Pearl Williams card with his face on it. And he looks at me, looks at the card, looks at me, and says, "I don't vote for them guys."
Wow.
And
that was the
here
field.
we are. Here we are, 34 years later, elected the first black mayor. I mean, that's a real achievement.
Yeah, it was something else, and did it surprise you, the total numbers, how it all turned out?
I thought it was a good victory for Sharita.
Yeah.
It was a really good victory. I mean, she did have the old guard GOP behind her, but behind Hardesty. But I mean, Sharita was clearly the stronger candidate. Knew about cities, knew about city government, knew about the hands-on style that it takes to be mayor. She was just simply the better candidate.
You brought up a good point, too, about some candidates will come in and certain levels that'll work if you're talking generalities about, as you said, uplifting people and that kind of thing. But as you mentioned, I think Smith a lot of times talked about water lines and things that affected you every day. Was that the turning point?
Infrastructure. I mean, you got to get the leaves picked up.
Yeah.
You got to get the snow removed. You got to deal with the police and police issues. I mean, it's a lot of hands-on. Anything that happens, the mayor gets a call.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Let's jump to Virginia. A lot of what we're hearing today after Youngkin win is that's a testimonial to Democrats across. Do you think that's being overblown a little bit?
No, I don't think so.
You don't think?
I think the Democrats, well, like Tony Celebrezze, former Attorney General, used to say, when Democrats organize a firing squad, they form a circle. And that's clearly what's been happening to the Democrats. They've been bickering with each other. You got the progressive wing, you got the Joe Manchin wing, you got I mean, it's just been a mess. And they haven't been able to get anything done. I think that was a real factor in that Virginia race, the fact that Biden did not accomplish what he set out to accomplish.
One thing, too, that Youngkin talked about, whether you liked him or not, he talked about things that were affecting school parents, whether it be mask mandates and critical race theory, whether you agreed with him or not, but he did take on those issues and at least talk about them.
Those were push-button issues.
Think
I mean,
so?
They were designed to appeal to suburban voters, especially suburban women, and get them to vote for him. I mean, there is no such thing as critical race theory being taught in public schools. It's not going to be taught in public schools. It's a university phenomenon at best, maybe law schools. But I mean, he was just using that as an issue to use race as a divisive issue to get white suburban voters to vote for him.
I was going to say, so he at least used the perception to get some votes.
Yeah, he did it.
Yeah,
he did it.
Yeah.
But I mean, and McAuliffe was not that as inspiring of a candidate, and Biden campaigned for him a lot, and for that the race to go against McAuliffe and against the Democrats was a real blow.
Youngkin wouldn't disown President Trump, but he kept a healthy distance. Didn't he?
And McAuliffe wanted Biden in there to help him, and lost. So
let's go to Boston, where for once in a long time, it's not an old white man that's the mayor of Boston.
The first man who's a mayor. I mean, not to mention a white mayor. An Asian woman, Michelle Yu, won last night. And I mean, that's one case for a mayor like Lima. There would have been a woman mayor anyway as a result of that election. Sure. But I mean, this is a real change as well.
Yeah, what does it say about that? Does it say anything specifically about that area, or maybe the way the country's feeling?
The thing about Boston's just one of these cities where they don't really have home rule. They depend upon the state legislature to get a lot of things done. So Michelle Wu is really going to have to use her political skills to get the state legislature to work to help her with things like the free MTA. And all that stuff that she was trying to get through.
She's probably got a tough job ahead of her too, doesn't she?
Oh yeah, she has a very tough job. And also, I mean, the thing about she's also is because Boston, look where it's located on the ocean, is going to be subject to climate change problems, and so I mean, she's got to deal with that one as well.
She got a lot on her plate. All right, thank you so much, Dr. Bill. Appreciate it. Good seeing you. Now, going medical news coming up next on Noon Edition.